You go.
Good morning and welcome to the Alcheringa Oval in Golgol as we move into the semi-final stage of the Global Spirited Cricket Festivale, week number 1. And we can tell you that the toss has been affected. Canada winning, and they have elected to bat first. A pretty overcast morning here locally across the border in New South Wales. Pat Silcox alongside of Peter Walsh. And we'll bring you all the coverage today of this game between Canada and Australia. Of course, the winner today will go straight into tomorrow's grand final. And our other semi-final, which has been played back across the bridge in Mildura at Sarah Oval number 3, is Australia A and the US of A, Peter.
Thank you, Patrick. Now I think I've got you going here. That's better. Good morning to you and good morning, everyone. And what a beautiful morning. I must admit, a bit fresh, a bit cold, but we've got the jumpers on with our spirit of cricket, and importantly we've had a chat to the team members from both who will be out there, and once again, with the risk of being repetitive, the national anthem is just magnificent for me to be able to stand there and watch the Canadian team and the reverence that was displayed by the team opposite them, that's our Australian team, and then to swap over and get the Australians to sing with gusto. It's just such a good feeling, and what it does is it gives us an understanding that these are two countries from the opposite sides of the world, and they're playing in a game of cricket in Mildura at Golgol. If you're in the area, take a photo.
Yeah.
You're never ever going to have this repeated. And the Australians going in very much warm favourites, Patrick, for this game. They've been unbeaten. And look, let's not write any scripts for what might happen, but in a final, anything can happen. Let's hope that it's a good game.
Absolutely. We'll wait and see how it plays out over the next couple of hours, of course. First 10 overs will be crucial here. You'd think the Aussies looking to make some early breakthroughs, in Canada desperate to make sure that they can bat the journey of 45 overs. A couple of changes to the Aussie side from what we saw yesterday, Pete, with Craig Trindle and Paul Ryan taking a spell. And back in come Brian May and Anthony Bloomfield, who looks like he may well be opening the bowling too with the new ball. So looking forward to that. A couple of Canadian batsmen just passing across in front of Canberra's shot there. Looks like the skipper Aftab Kazir and also Kishore Gudapali heading out to the middle. So the scene is set, Walshy. We're in for a big day.
Should be a beauty. And I'd like to just mention a few things as we get towards the start of the game, and mention this particular gentleman who's had a massive impact on my life. I've only met him on 2 occasions, last year during this magnificent cricket and also this year, and that is the dad of the Kratzman boys, and that is Neville. And Neville is out there, and when I was talking to a few of the Australians and saying good luck today, they said, look, we'd like to chat, but Neville's going to be hitting a few tennis balls to us with his tennis racket, and we love doing this. This is part of getting ready. And it's part of, when I spoke with Neville earlier on, and he'll join us at some stage, he feels part of it. He feels like, and he said, one of the issues is that I had to leave my wife at home, and she plays, well, she doesn't play, but she's involved in tap dancing. And so I'm here tap dancing my way to Mildura. But he said he loves it. And he then wanted to go into detail about when he was growing up with the kids. This was the ritual. You got the tennis racket out because they were 2 Australian tennis players. Yep. Bing, 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 bing. And he just thrives. And I said to him, Nev, they're starting the game soon. I think what you should do is get off the ground. But personalities, and that's what we've been able to meet and will continue to meet as we get ready for this game, where it's write your own ticket for Canada. But are you surprised they decided to bat?
Oh, they had a look at the strip, Walsh, and it's been good for some runs already in the tournament, so I guess they thought they'd back themselves in. It might get a little bit slower and lower as the day goes on. Yeah,
and all the best to Joel and Todd and to the camera people that are here. I hope the guys have got some, well, I'd say winter clothes, but I hope they're all okay just in case, because it is a bit fresh, but they do a magnificent job. All of the stuff that we're pumping out to you is only because we can see it happening on our screen in front of us, and that's all good. So I hope you're enjoying our coverage wherever you might be watching. And we're about to start. So good luck to you too, Patrick.
Thank you.
Got here safely. I've got here safely. Had a nice breakfast and joined in with Piggy. And Piggy was ready to go too. And we've got Piggy. We actually will be talking to, a little later on, I reckon, Wheelbarrow. Is Wheelbarrow coming up here later on?
Maybe. We'll keep an eye out for that. As, first ball has been bowled by James Morris. And the skipper dealing with it quite comfortably.
We should also say, look, to make sure people know what we're talking about, Wheelbarrow and Scooter. Scooter is the physio as we wait for the second ball of the first over. Is pushed down the ground on the onside and there's no run. So the expertise of Jess D. Tarzinski,
yep.
She is racing around everywhere and doing a brilliant job, so we'll be able to chat with her. And she's a very popular person because it's not only the Australians she's looking after everyone. Next ball is pushed again down the ground on the onside and there's no run. So the Aussies not significantly challenged by any of their games so far. They finish up on top of the table and a win here sees them in the final.
Yeah. And James Morris was impressive yesterday. Gets the edge and the catch is beautifully taken in the cordon. My goodness. Handling very, very impressive. Is that our man Steve Mace again? He was a little bit dusty on day one, but he has picked his game up somewhat, hasn't he?
That was a good catch. Neat grab. We'll get a look at it again, but what a start there for Canada. A start that could be the worst possible effort, really getting off in the first over. And Morris feeling pretty chuffed and the Australians getting together and a few high fives. They're all talking about what it looked like. And Morris stands there and he's pretty much one of the second tallest players out there, isn't he?
I think he's probably the tallest. He's towering over them from where I sit.
Oh, that's disappointing. What a start. First over, first wicket, and some frustrations. And I think as we see Mohammad Iqbal, it's frustrations there. Iqbal coming to the crease now to join Gudapali, and it's 1 for none in the first over.
Yeah. He's looked okay, I reckon, from what we've seen of Mohammad Iqbal. He looks busy, he gets underway quickly. Just hasn't been able to go on and build a big score. They'll need him to go large today if they can post a total they can try and defend in the second session.
That's true. You know how you get disorientated with where you're going and you don't know a lot about the geographical locations. Well, I've almost jumped into stating a ridiculous comment by accident and saying they've moved the scoreboard. But it's a different ground. I said, someone's stolen the scoreboard, Patrick. So we haven't got one, but we've got information in front, which is all about what we're talking about. Next ball is worked away with not a lot of confidence and no run with the packed field too. It's obvious from the Australians' point of view with Captain Andrew Sharp that he thinks there's a bit in the track. Not the fact that they didn't win the toss. Canada won the toss and elected to bat, and it's a good start by the Australians. The wicket falling in the first over.
And Morris finishes his assignment coming in from the Murray River end, so the end of one. And Canada 1 for none. The man out, of course, was the captain, Aftab Kazar. Mohammad Iqbal yet to score. Gudapali yet to score, so perfect start for the green and gold.
Conditions a little cool. Nothing out of the ordinary, no rain or anything, but fresh, I think, just to grab hold of a tracksuit top. And this gives the Canadians the chance to wear their resplendent tops. Very bright red, but they look good. So Mace was the man who took the catch earlier on. A good start to him, and Morris was the bowler. So that's the ideal way of getting into your groove when there's such a final to play. And not a lot of time to get the players. When they'd finished off last night, a few of them would have arrived home and they might have watched the World Championships, the athletics over in Tokyo, the Australians working towards some medals, but some consternation overnight, and we'll get all that stuff as the day progresses. But what we're doing now is we're just seeing whether or not we can see the Australians, who they're going to bowl. Is it Mark Wade?
Yeah.
Is it out there, is it?
Yep. We had Bloomfield on the scorecard when we first got out onto the field, but Skipper Sharp has decided just to throw his bowling rotations around. Wade's certainly been impressive. He was good here on day one and he bowled a decent stint late in the game yesterday as well.
Yeah, good start by the Australians. Exactly what they needed, and Canada in no hurry to do anything other than stay out there. First ball of the second over, wide of the off stump, and through it goes to the wicketkeeper Anthony Barenka. So not a lot of time for the players. As I said, they go back and they might sit down, have a bite to eat, or you don't know whether you go to bed on a full stomach. Some people say that's the worst possible scenario. But then watch a bit of TV or get ready to start again.
So ball of fullish length from Wade as it just curls away past the outside edge of the right-hander's bat and through to the keeper Barenka. He's got the shin pads today. I'm not sure that he wore those in the last couple of days, but he's looking to be more mobile perhaps to make sure he can get up to the stumps.
Yes, he's one of the best in the business. There's no doubt about that. No doubt about that. And that ball's pushed away, but bat and pad not all that close together. It looked as if he stretched to find the line of that delivery and pushed it out into the covers, and there's no run. Beautiful ground. We're driving in with the horse. Well, you're not driving in with the horse. It sounds like horse and buggy
in the back
days.
Of the cart, yeah.
But just a special mention to all the scorers, and not just those that are travelling with the team. I know that the Canadian side, they have a couple of young ladies who are working, and Horse said they're just so excited about being here. And they've got their flashing biros there with different colours for all that sort of thing. And what a challenge for them. And what they did when they got here this morning was they did laps. They had to get their, what do they call them, steps up.
Yeah.
In those days, when did that first come in? When you checked your phone after you'd gone for a walk and you could decide on how many steps you've taken?
Yeah, it's been a thing for a little while, but I think it's good to be active. Certainly if you're going to be scoring, you're probably sitting down for the fair majority of the day.
Yep, that's
this time,
true.
Ball of extra pace from Wade, scoots through to the keeper, and another maiden. So the score is still 1 for none after 2. And the Aussies have made a decent start. You were talking about Neville Kratzman before and how he feels so gelled and part of the team unit, I guess. I think the scorers would probably feel the same.
Yep.
No doubt that Horse would feel connected with the Aussie boys. He sees a lot of them through the season when they're travelling far and wide.
Absolutely. And you realise, of course, and this is so predictable, but a horse is a horse, of course, of course. Absolutely.
Can't believe it took you so long, Walshy.
No, he's been very kind to me. He's been driving me. I said, I haven't got my private driver, but he just zooms around. He knows the place. And I thought, what part of Mildura do you live in? He said, Brisbane. I said, is there a suburb called Brisbane?
It's in the far north, I think they call it.
Yeah, and the hotel we're staying at, of course, and that's been looked after by Piggy. And I'm not using these terminologies. I'm not making these up. These are the names. If you walked into the breakfast area and said, is Piggy here? Well, he'd answer. So they know that. And he's having a wonderful time. There's another edge and there is another catch. Outside the off stump, a play and not a miss. The splinter, and what a start for Canada, who lose their second wicket. Edge pretty much straightforward. We might be able to get a look at that again. We'll wait and see. No, we will not. But what a start by the Australians. Morris has picked up a couple of wickets, and Canada, the last thing they wanted to happen would be a wicket. Kratzman took the catch off the bowling of Morris, and that's Iqbal, and that's, well, woe is me. Bad start.
No, Morris is certainly proving to be hard to handle from that Murray River end. Big man, long way up, and he's getting certainly plenty of angle and bounce hitting the deck. And 2 for none Canada in this semi-final. They'll need to dig deep here, try and build a partnership. Looks like the new man is Anand Narayan, as we see Kratzman make it. Looks very easy there at second slip. It was awkward. It was sort of up around chest height, but he just got his hands across to the right beautifully and took it cleanly. So Morris, 2 for none.
2 for none. And just going on to the Kratzman connection with Nev, then going through the motions this morning of hitting tennis balls off the tennis racket to the Australians who were catching them. And Neville was really kind enough to have a chat and said, look, as growing up with Dad, I, of course, had the 2 sons. Andrew was there and he was involved with the family that loved playing and loved doing this exercise. And he said, we used to do this all the time as kids. And here he is doing it with an Australian team.
Yeah.
At goal in Mildura and loving it.
Thought he was going to whack one towards us as we were coming off the ground after our pitch inspection. He was certainly in receiving mode. He was ready to go.
He was. What a family. 2 sons who played for Australia, and of course his beautiful wife, who I haven't had the pleasure of meeting, but she's a tap dancer and she's in her 80s. That's not a bad effort.
All right, so back with Morris once again. He's bowling to the number 27, which, what have we got in our list there? It is an Harry Han.
Well, we've got another 27 there, and that's Kishmore Gudapali, but we're reliably informed that this guy out there is...
They're both out
Harry
there, the
Henry.
27s at the moment, just to throw a bit of confusion into the
Yeah,
mix.
well, you can do the next few overs there if you
Thank
like.
you very much. Very watchful in defence, Harry Han, as he pops it back onto the onside.
The disappointment too for the captain of the team who couldn't play, who hurt his body, and he's looking for some assistance to be rendered by Jess Tarzinski, the physio. And she's not the Australian physio only. She's the physio who is available for any problems whatsoever, and she's doing a mighty job. All of the teams involved are really very, very generous with their comments on what she's been doing.
Nicely bowled again there by Morris. Really bowling hard into the deck. And all the Canadians could do was just defend grimly out onto the offside. So we're getting towards the end of our third over. And still yet to post their first runs of the morning. Oh, and some extra carry and bounce again from Morris. He's made a sensational start to this semi-final. And the score is 2 for none in the third over. Live coverage of the Global Spirit of Cricket Festivale coming to you from Alcheringa Oval in Golgol. Of course, going out on Sock TV live on the YouTube. Our friends at Willow TV taking the stream as well. So lots of coverage all around the world, Peter Walsh.
That's the good thing about, pardon me, not knowing exactly where the coverage is going, but you jump on all of those information sharing exercises that Anthony Telfer is punching out to all, and it just pops up and you see, oh, there's the cricket, or there's some photos from yesterday, or there's some highlights, or there's an interview, and it's all about bringing the cricket to you on the other side of the world on this occasion. It's just extraordinary. Yeah, a lot of work being done as we see Wade start a new over, wide of the off stump, and through it goes to the man standing up, the keeper, who does all the right things, Anthony Barranca. So wicket maiden. It's 2 for no wickets. 2 wickets, I should say. 2 for none. This ball. And a push gently out towards short cover, run along the ground all the way, straight to Grant Milbank, and there's no run. You know what to do here. That you can't do anything out of the ordinary. You've just got to sort of push and probe and hope for an edge that skids along the ground, or at least get on the scoreboard.
Yeah, rotating the strike is important in a situation like this. That one scurries through to the keeper. As we mentioned, the Aussies on the attack with 3 men in the cordon there. Also man at gully.
We may, and I don't like to tease our audience because we're not 100% sure, but the possibilities are we might be able to have a chat with Billy Bowden, because Billy's the third umpire, and we've been very lucky to have the 2 third umpires in previous games that have been close to us, and there has been a need for them to be called in to help adjudicate. And Billy's just been so affable. He's talked to people and got around and signed autographs and shared stories. Really, really good man, and so we hope that we'll be able to get a chat with him as this next ball squares up the batsman, and it's knocked away towards forward square. Barranca up around the stumps very quickly. Got some good support there from Simon Nish, who knocked it back, and there's no run, and it's still 2 for none. Mace took the catch off Morris to dismiss Aftab Kazir, and Kratzman took the catch off Morris, and it's 1 for none and now 2 for none, and the start has been exactly what Australia would want.
Yeah, and so we're through 4 overs now, 4 maidens. Canada still yet to trouble the scorers, 2 for none. Perfect start from the opening bowlers, James Morris and Mark Wade, over the border here in Golgol this morning.
Forecast, you've usually got your phone and you can usually swing into action and tell us when the first drops will fall. I think the forecast was pretty good for today, wasn't it?
Slight chance of a late morning shower, but 21 the top. I think will be pretty good. The clouds are pretty high at the moment. As we look ahead throughout the rest of the tournament, finals day Tuesday, tops of 20. And it looks like 24, and on the improve as another wicket has been taken. Are we watching a replay there of the Kratzman pouch? No, it is another wicket. I'm busy looking at the weather forecast. And James Morris, he is the destroyer at the moment for Australia. Really hitting the track hard and finding the outside edge at will at the moment.
Grazman's had some good fun there. All of the catching practice done with his dad earlier on has worked out because he made that look very easy, that catch.
Yeah, it's not the way that Canada would have looked to get going here this morning. And they're really going to need to dig deep. We said the opening 10 overs were going to be pretty important, Peter Walsh. It's certainly turning out to be the case, isn't it?
Well, it's been a disastrous start. Have a look and see. A flick and edge, and well taken too by Kratzmann. As soon as he took the catch, it stuck and he was across to get to Baranka, who was the wicketkeeper, and have a chat to those that were in the slips cordon. And if there was a scoreboard here and you looked up at it, there'd be light globes everywhere and they'll all be flashing. And it was 3 wickets for no runs. 1 for none, 2 for none, 3 for none. And Morris, how much fun's he having out there now? 3 wickets for none.
He's had a pretty impressive tournament. He got a 4 for a couple of days ago. He was solid again yesterday. And he really is making a mess of this Canadian top order. Looks like it's Suresh Nair, our new man out there in the middle. And I'm pretty confident, Peter Walsh, if you're batting at number 5, you wouldn't be expected to be out taking guard in the first 18 minutes of the innings.
No, very true. And you want ball on bat, and you want some runs on the scoreboard. This one wide of the off stump and through it goes. One of the really exciting things was we had a Canadian player who got the man of the match for his team yesterday, and he was the very likeable Ashakumar Pandar. Now, he didn't do anything out of the ordinary, but he was so likeable. He had this flashy smile, and everyone was thinking, let's hope he does well, and he did. But as I said, didn't make many runs. But when his name was announced and he was given a cap last night, it was just so good. And he was just walking around telling everyone. You don't have to introduce yourself as saying, I'm a player from Canada. You can introduce yourself by saying, I won the man of the match.
Man of the match, I'm the man of the match.
And he's got a cap. Oh, good man, good man.
Oh, and again, Morris hustling through as the ball goes through to the keeper.
This is extraordinary, this performance by the Australians so far. If you just sitting down and having a cup of tea wherever you're listening, or you're ready to get yourself into a spot, well, it's 3 for none.
Yeah. We've just had an amendment to the scorecard, so it is in fact Harmeet Singh who's made his way out to the middle. Confusion downstairs, but Morris continues this scintillating start to his spell. Just about completed his 3rd over, 3 for none.
Yes, he'd be able to take a photo of the scorebook after this game because that would be personal best without question. And this next ball pushed down the ground towards mid-on. No power on the stroke. That's the completion of the over. Dare I say it, we've had 5 overs bowled and the score is none for 3. Another wicket maiden with Morris, who's taken 3 for none and bowled very accurately.
He has proved to be extremely difficult to get away. As we can see, Craig Trindle just running on beneath us here to make sure his opening bowler's liquid levels are maintained. He's probably feeling like maybe I shouldn't have had the rest day today because I might have got amongst the wicket-taking action as well.
No, it's must be a tough call as to who do we put out of the team or who do we not put out, because there's so much cricket going on and the action will continue now with Mark Wade.
Foolish ball, just trying to get that to swing away from the right-hander. He's operating from the Sturt Highway end here at Golgol this morning. The Aussies certainly pretty chipper out in the field at the moment. Early breakthroughs. Confidence will be rolling here. And Wade, he just wants to get a scalp. This time he's just pushing into the pitch and going away again for the right-hander.
One thing we haven't had the chance to do, and it's because it's the spirit of cricket, but I wonder if there's much chat going on in the slips or whether there'd be a lot of discussions from the Australians. I don't know whether or not that's tolerated in this spirit of cricket mode. Don't know.
Some good tail again this time from Wade, but the umpire's going to call that one a wide. And they're on the board, Canada.
Yes, thank goodness. Can you believe it? In the 6th over, Extra hits the scoreboard for the first time. It's another chance for you to Google as to whether or not this is a game where it's taken the longest period of time with balls bowled before a score, and the score happens to be an extra. Did you get that answer yet?
Not yet, no.
No, but at least they're on the board. That's one thing. And almost another one too. I thought that was well wide of the off stump. Umpires today are David Schofield and Alan Owens, with Billy Bowden the third umpire. And as I did suggest in the last couple of days, we've had the third umpires who've been certainly well welcomed into our commentary box, and we shared that with Bill. I spoke with him this morning and said if you want to come up. He kept walking, so...
Well, this time it was the change up from Wade, and the ball has just finished short of niche there in the cordon. Bringing that one back into the right-hander, so didn't quite find his way onto the scoreboard there, Mark Wade. He's just having a quick chat with the umpire and on strikers end, but plenty of swing there, there's no question. Overcast conditions, plenty of cloud cover. And there wouldn't have been a lot of shine taken off the ball as of yet, Pete.
It's true.
Look at that cordon.
I was just going to say, we can see 6 Australians on the computer screen that's in front of us, all in vision. That ball down the leg side is another wide. That one just a bit tardy outside the leg stump, drifting, and the score's up by 1, and the score now is
3 for 2.
3 for 2.
We'll take a chance shortly to just have a look at some of the other semi-finals that are being played around town this morning. As Wade continues. This time the ball is tucked around the corner nicely, and that, I reckon, is going to get to the boundary. It is our first boundary of the morning. Nicely worked there by Goodapali. Took him 18 deliveries to get off the mark, but he did it in style. And the score after 6 overs, Canada 3 for 6. Peter Walsh and Pat Silcox here at the Alcheringa Oval in Golgol. Walsh, I might just quickly have a look around the grounds for you. Now, in the other over-50s game, a semi-final which is being played at number 3 Oval, Sarah Oval in Mildura. Australia won the toss, elected to bat. They are none for 23 after 6 overs. And in the over-55s, we've got a game over at the McLeod Oval in Wentworth. Spirit of Cricket World 11 won the toss, elected to field, have Australia 1 for 31 after 6. In the other over-55s game, the Kiwis won the toss and batted first. They are none for 32 after 7.
Thank you, Patrick. Information sharing, that's what it's all about with cricket. You need to know exactly what's going on. And the concept of 45 overs, and then of course we've got 20 overs coming up. Eventually, and says he with no real evidence, but we'll have 10 over games, you know. I reckon we'll get back down to that, so you can go there and head away from your work environment and say, look, I'll be back in an hour and a half or 2 hours, but I'm just going down to the Oval that's near our place to watch a 10-over game, and it'll be slap and tickle right from the first ball.
I think there is a few 10-over competitions around the globe, Walshy, at certain countries. It certainly will be something that I think will come into play at some stage. The shortest format of the game.
Yes, that's true. You remember the days when it was the 50-over game, and if you usually worked out about after 17 overs, you had to be around the 100 mark. And scores of 220 or 230, well, they were reasonable totals, weren't they?
Yeah.
Not anymore. Even in the women's cricket, the Indians nearly got up to 300 the other night. It's extraordinary.
Nicely worked there by Harmeet Singh, back down towards the man at mid-on. Nicely covered there by Anthony Bloomfield, who'll be keen to get the ball in his hands to be a part of the action.
And Harmeet Singh with no number emblazoned on his bat, but we're of the belief that he's number 26. We're of that belief, and I hope it's right. Well, that's a white ball down the offside. Work there for Barranca. And you noticed a bit of a change in his attire or in his gear?
Well, I feel like he's wearing the shin pads today. I'm sure he's had the short wicket-keeping pads previously when we've had him on coverage, but today he's gone for a bit more of a lighter weight option.
Well, it might be as this next ball is pushed away on the onside up to mid-on and there's no run. Just runs along the ground all the way and is fielded there by Bloomfield. You would expect, or would you expect, Patrick, a bowling change shortly? We've got now 7 down. It's 3 for 6. And these two were bowled very well indeed. Morris in particular picking up the 3 wickets. What's going to be the idea of skipper Andrew Sharp with the players that he's got that he's looking after today?
Well, they've got the slow options, of course, in Sharma and Waddington. You'd expect Bloomfield to get involved at some stage as well. But the skipper's been more than happy to let his opening partnership bowl for a good 6-7 over burst in tandem. So I don't feel like we'll see any change. There's a bit of conjecture at the moment, as we can see Mark Wade just off camera having a chat to the umpire, maybe just having a look at the ball.
Yeah, it looks like he's picking at the stitches from where we are. That's a long way away. That's probably not fair to say that, because it's been flicked back to the bowler now in Mark Wade, who walks away, and he seems to be quite happy.
Looks like he's good to go. Just hasn't quite had the radar going where he needs it in this opening 3 overs. Let's see what he's got for us now.
This first ball wide of the off stump, and through it goes to the keeper. Yes, there'd be a lot of discussions going on. I suppose in the slips, I know there's concentration levels that have to be looked at, and we've talked about what the umpires think about between balls. Well, the next question could be, what do the slippers feel like or talk to about? We'll wait and see. This ball outside the off stump, and through it goes to Barenka. Because you're spending a lot of time standing in the one position. If there are maidens each over, all you do is walk to the opposite end.
Well, I guess for the men in first and second slip, obviously batting in the top order, they'll probably be processing what the wicket's doing, what the ball's doing, how they'd approach it if they were batting.
Yep. This next ball.
Oh,
edged.
what a catch. What a beauty from Andrew Kratzman. It was down low and to his left. Ball didn't really come off the bat with the lesser pace of Mark Wade, but he certainly can for that. Big Kratzy. And gee whiz, the Australians continue to rip through this top order from Canada. 4 for 6 midway through the 8th over. Goodapali is out, caught Kratzman, bowled Wade. And dynamic stuff from the big man. He's not letting Stephen Mace take all the plaudits from behind the wicket. He's certainly putting his name in front of the selectors. He has been absolutely outstanding there, as we can see some drinks coming onto the field for the Aussie boys. And they are up and about.
Are they what? Kratzman has 3 catches. So what's been added to your list is what are the most number of catches been taken? Let's have a look at this one.
Just moved so beautifully, didn't he? Really saw it beautifully out of the bowler's hand, off the edge of the bat, made position and got down nice and low and covered it. So 3 catches for Andrew Kratzman. What a start to the morning he's had, as we see Sivasanka Udamalingam coming out to the middle, batting at number 6. He'd be another man that wouldn't have expected to have strapped the pads on at this point of time. What are we, about half an hour through this first session?
No, it's been well capitulation, and the Australians bowling very well, but importantly, catching very well. And I'm not going to go in with all of these trivia questions, but I think he'd be one of the tallest men in slips that you'd see, Kratzman, and the way that he was able to lunge forward, pick it up in the one scoop, and complete the catch. I don't know whether he's normally going to be in the slips, but if he's not, he's going to be now, because he's taken 3 catches of the 4 wickets to fall. Pretty good performance by the big man. Very good performance. So it's woe is me for Canada, who didn't, I shouldn't say trouble the scorers, that's not fair. What they didn't do is they didn't have a W beside their name after they'd played their early games, and the Australians had all W's, win, 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 and they looking to try and cement a spot in the final. And they're going about that in the right way now, because all bowlers, Wade picking up 1 wicket, but preceded by the bowling of Morris, who's picked up 3, and the score at the moment is 4 for very little. 4 wickets down, and only 1 scoring shot off the bat. That's a boundary. Is this ball?
Big shout.
That's a big shout.
He's
and let's have a look. He's gone. Another one gone. And this is Wade who's picked up the wicket. And the Australians, well, this is very disappointing from Canada's point of view, because they've now lost their 5th wicket. And the score, after they won the toss and elected to bat, is now 5 wickets down for 5 runs, is it?
6.
6 runs. 2 extras. 5 for 6. Let's have a look at this again now. Was to cut down and it seemed to hit him pretty low as he leant forward, but the digit was in the upward direction immediately. And this Australian team, who maybe thought they would have some pretty significant hurdles to overcome, well, that hasn't been the case now, because the batting so far from Canada has been very disappointing. I can't believe this, 5 for 6.
Yeah, I think there was just a quick check on the front foot of the bowler, but it's been cleared upstairs by the third umpire. So we see a new man coming out to the wicket, number 23, Imtiaz Ali. Be batting at number 7, so 5 for 6. Almost completed 8 overs here in this first session at the Alcheringa Oval in Golgol. And I'm starting to think that the Canadian skipper may be ruining his decision to bat first, Pete.
Well, we were out there when they sang the national anthem, and then as soon as it was announced that they'd won the toss and they elected to bat, well, I suppose we as broadcasters were hoping that it would be a reasonably competitive chase. The Australians have got a very strong batting lineup, but we were unsure as to who would be the leader of the charge with Canada. But so far, nobody has. And we're halfway through the order, so to be able to wrest back any form of initiative would seem to be out of reach, given that their major batters are back in the shed.
Yeah, I guess all they can really strive for now is to try and bat through their 45 overs if possible. But it's looking a long way, that journey at the moment, with the score at 5 for 6. Maybe at the completion of this over, we'll quickly roll through the card if you've only just joined the coverage. And Wade starting to get them right on the spot there. It's a pretty aggressive start from Ali. Just rehearsing a couple of extra shots at the end of the over. So 5 for 6 after 8. And as we look at the card, Kaiser was caught Mace, bowled Morris, no score. Mohamed Iqbal was caught Kratzman, bowled Morris for a duck. The score at 2 for none. Then we went to 3 for none with Harry Han. And he was dismissed, caught Kratzman, bowled Morris. Goodabhali was the fourth man to go with a score at 6. He was out caught Kratzman, bowled Wade. And 5 for 6 with Sivasanka Uttamalingam, who was adjudged LBW to the bowling of Mark Wade.
Only the one scoring shot for runs, that was a boundary, and the others have come in extras, so it's been miserable. It's been disappointing, and they would be disappointed too, because this is probably their most important game, because they're in a situation of winning this game and they go one step further, but that looks to be completely out of sorts now, and they would have come in as the rank outsiders in this game. Only the new kids on the block, and I'm not saying that in a derogatory term, they will learn a lot, and they've all said that, and what better to learn than to be against the best bowling attack in the competition so far. It's short and wide, and through it goes to the keeper behind the stumps there in Anthony Barenka, and the score stays at, you ready for it? I'll go through it carefully, 5 for 6.
5 for 6 as we get another good look at the slip cordon. We've got 3 slips of gully, man at point. This time the ball is played out into the offside, but nicely handled there by Prashant Sarma, who's been impressive with his leg spin, but the way things are rolling here, he might not get a look in today.
No, I was watching him combing his hair before when we were getting ready for the national anthem, and jocular guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
Very friendly, and he's got a reasonable head of hair too, I might give you the tip. Very impressive, better than ours.
The ball's pushed out into the onside, and nicely tidied up again there by the Aussies.
Loves his bowling too. When he gets the ball, he's ready to go, and you see that mop of black hair as you're waiting for him to spin the ball, and that's what he did, and that's what he does, and he's enjoying this tournament.
Bumped into him at the dinner break yesterday and asked him did he get much turnout there, and I'll give you the answer after this delivery. As again, Morris is going past the outside edge of the bat. They just cannot deal with him at the moment, almost through his 5 overs, 3 for none. I had a chat to Prasad, said bit of purchase off the John Hole Oval wicket, and he said, sort of nodded in the negative, and I said, more the variation, and he said, yes, variation. I'm not a big turner of the ball, just like to mix up my pace and my length.
Yes, it's wonderful, you know, in the business of taking our vision to those that are watching. I used to love it when Shane Warne was bowling and the Channel 9 network were doing the coverage, and he'd actually be talking to those back in the press area and telling them what the next ball would be that he was going to bowl.
Yeah.
And then the next ball, and then the next ball. And it's just amazing because invariably that's what he did bowl.
Yep.
It was just wonderful.
He was a master. There's no question. And every now and then, if you scroll through YouTube, you get some of those highlight packages of his, wickets in a series against England and all that sort of stuff. It's great to watch, isn't it?
Oh, it's just wonderful. About another one that we lost so young, far too young, and the MCG still brings back so many memories of the statue of Warne, and everybody's got memories of what he was like. I first saw him play for Victoria down at the Bellerive Oval in Hobart and thought, why is that bloke over there eating baked beans? He's playing for Victoria. And had just an easy person to get to know, and someone who you enjoyed his company very much because he had so many stories to tell. And I don't like this word, but I'll have to use it. He moved into the greatness package. He was the player that you went to see play cricket because he was so good.
First managed to bump into him when he was having his stints at the Commonwealth Bank Cricket Academy. He was playing his district cricket with Glenelg, I think, as a young man when he come across.
Yep.
Oh, and that one's coming back through the gate. There's an appeal of some description from the keeper, Baranka. Not sure if it's more appeal of desperation or he was just so thrilled that he managed to get to that one. It was tailing back off the pitch, come back a long way through the gap between bat and pad. And it was very nicely taken.
And I'll tell you who was involved in that appeal and a bit of a chin wagging. That was Kratzman at second slip. He was asking questions. It was a good delivery, all right. That ball pushed back down the ground on the offside, and the slippers having plenty of reasons to chat. They haven't had to move very far apart from one end of the pitch to the other because they've had too much work to do when the slips caught them. 5 for 6. When you say that, you think, hang on, am I reading it out correctly? I better check my scorebook in front of me, but it is 5 for 6.
Going to get a wide here, which will add to the tally, so score goes to 7. And Wade has been a bit of a mixed bag from him. He's bowled some really good deliveries, and then he's just had a couple that have just probably not quite gone where he's directed them to go. But he's enjoying this partnership with James Morris, which has been so successful here in this opening session this morning. This time he's again beating the outside edge of the left-hander's bat. And he has Ali looking to try and get off the mark. He's faced 5 deliveries. Hamid at the other end has had 17.
Gudapali scoring a boundary. He's the only one with runs. And the wickets falling at 4. Duck, 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 duck. A lot of those is just ducks. It's like fishing in the Murray. There's ducks everywhere.
Oh, that one's angled into the pads. Umpire's going to give it. Now, just to the naked eye, Walsh, you had a feeling it might have been skirting down the leg side, but we'll wait and see if there's going to be a referral here. But I'll tell you what, that was a full-length delivery, and Wade certainly has shown that he can swing the ball prodigiously, whether it's away or back into the left-hander. I think we may obviously just check that front foot first, but at this stage, it looks like a 6th breakthrough for the Australians as they bring out some more refreshments. And Wade now has the figures of 3 for 7 in his 5th over. We've got a chance to have another look, Walshy, on the Enjoy Wine Char Grill and Bar action replay.
No, I was exactly in your corner there to see what happens with this ball.
He did sort of make a stride across the stumps to be able to open up the leg side, so maybe he's just brought himself in line with the stumps by doing that. But umpire had a brief moment just to process what was going on in front of him, and they decided to stick the finger skyward. So now it is Suresh Nair. We thought we had him a few moments earlier this morning, but he has made his way out to the middle, so that looks like the wicket will remain 6 for 7 as we get close to completing the 10th over. A little bit of sunlight starting to break through the clouds into the combox here at Alcheringa.
Got the occasional dog waters out there. They get their dogs up and running and go for a wander. There's so much room here, as I said in one of our earlier crosses to this venue. There's seating for anybody all the way around the ground, so you can pick a spot under a tree if you wish. And so it's good value, and there's a lot of advertising hoardings there too to look after the Gol Hawks. And I'll tell you what, it's the performance of the Australians that is being looked at with substance, because the score is A lot of wickets for too few runs. 6 for 7.
And again, Wade right on the mark, forcing the batsman to play. So that is the end of the 10th over, and the score here at Alcheringa is Canada 6 for 7.
Alliance Biograin grows organic grains for strength, vitality and joy. Every grain carries the strength of the land, bringing real nourishment to every table. Because health isn't just about eating well, it's about living fully. Organic nutrition meets senior cricket. Alliance Biograin and CCMC, nourishing seniors, one meal, one match, one moment of joy.
What's going on?
That's you.
What do you expect me to do about it?
It's time.
It's time to see my mates at CPAP Direct. They help me get my sleep apnea sorted, and they offer good old-fashioned customer service and support. CPAP Direct not only have the latest technology in sleep testing, CPAP machines and masks, they can help you too.
You can leave the mask on.
What?
If you've just joined us, you've missed a fair bit. We'll go through the score in a sec, and I'll go through very, very carefully, and hopefully I'll pronounce correctly, because Bloomfield's back in the attack, or in the attack for the Australians, who were told after the toss that Canada had decided to bat, and they haven't used their bats too often. There's been one boundary, and the rest are extras, and the score is 6 for 7. Yes, 6 wickets have fallen for 7 runs. Morris has taken 3, and Wade has taken 3. And let's stick with the threes as Bloomfield starts his first over wide of the off stump through to the keeper. Kratzmann, the wicket who has fallen to, let's have a look at. He had a catch early, and a catch early. Sounds like I'm stuttering and stammering. I'm not. He's had 3 catches in the slips. And as I'm joined, of course, by Pat Silcox. Pat, well, I'm not sure how you sum up the game, because it's been all Australia.
It's been dynamic, hasn't it? The Aussies have been completely on top. And certainly the bowling from the Murray River end, that opening spell from James Morris, was well worth making your way across the bridge to have a look at. 5 overs, 5 maidens, 3 for none. That's right, 3 for none. Wade has 3 for 7, who's been in operation at the Sturt Highway end. And now Bloomfield, who was impressive on day 1, left arm over the wicket, bowls with a good zip. Storm, the ball is tucked around the corner, so Canada will add to their tally as they hustle back for 2. That's good running, so they take their score along now to 6 for 9 in this, the 11th over. I was trying to get a bit of a handle on the breeze, Walshy, when we were doing the national anthems and the introduction at the start of the game. And initially it felt like it was coming straight from over the top of the commentary box and across the ground. So not really favouring bowlers at either end, but we certainly have seen some good swing though.
We have, absolutely. And the bowlers relishing their task, and then looking at the captain, Andrew Sharp, and then when there's an over that's been completed, they look away because they don't want the ball to be taken from them. The performance by Wade and the performance by Morris, both picking up 3 wickets for virtually no runs, and 6 for 9 in a 45 over game, and we've got still 34 and a bit overs to be still bowled, and this ball wide down the onside, and the extra has been signalled. The umpires out there are Dave Schofield and Alan Owens. Billy Bowden's the third umpire, and we've hit double figures. It's 6 for 10. The lowest score in the competition so far has been 54. Canada made 54, and it's really hard to see them reaching that total when they've got so many out, and another one's just been given bowled. A half an effort to play it away that didn't eventuate, and another wicket has fallen, which means it's now 7 for 10. I can't believe I'm saying that. With the sing out bowled by Bloomfield for 2, 7 for 10, and we are in the 11th over. Disappointment, that's to say the least. Let's have a look at the replay. This ball is to be bowled by Bloomfield. It cuts back and no shot was played.
Top of off stump, perfectly.
Did it jag? Oh, did it cut? back, and we'll see from another angle here, we'll see the bails in the air and the frustration from the batsman or the batter, he didn't play a shot, and it's zipped up in the air, taken the bails, and the appeal wasn't necessary because the castle was struck and destroyed, and it's 7 for 10 with near out for no score.
The chances are, Walshy, that we're going to get an early finish to this game. So certainly people around the venue here may be looking for something a little bit more to do across the course of the afternoon. And of course we are in the state of New South Wales, and the Wentworth Shire Council, one of our proud partners of the Global Spirit of Cricket Festivale. Maybe golf might be in order a little bit later on during the day, so you can play around at the Kumiella Golf Club. 18 holes set along the Murray River beneath towering red gums. More details, of course, Monday to Friday by visiting the Wentworth Visitor Centre, 61 Darling Street, Wentworth.
Take a few extra ones and they'd land in the Murray, are they? A few holes where there's water, I would expect. Although I shouldn't say that because I haven't been there, but I could just understand it would be in immaculate condition. You could just have good lies no matter what, providing you stayed somewhere near the fairway. But a lot of these golfers are cricketers, and a lot of these cricketers are golfers. I think one of the best I've seen in action was Ricky Ponting. And Adam Gilchrist used to bat left-handed and then go and play golf right-handed and still hit the ball a mile. And they like that. Here's Bloomfield, who's going to see if he can pick up another wicket. And there's a run. It's pushed wide, and they'll just get through for the single, pushed away. And they get through for the one run. So the score now is 7 for 11. Yep, that's the score. 7 for 11 after Canada won the toss and elected to bat. Now that could be our good friend out there. It could be Pandya. I think it is. Akshakama Pandya, who won the man of the match yesterday.
Yes, he did. Yeah, we'll have a little bit of confidence to take with him to the crease, but again, as we've been mentioning through these opening 49 minutes of the coverage, when you're batting at 9, you're not expecting that you're going to be out there taking guard at this point of the innings.
No. He is the man of the match from yesterday's game, and this is the spirit of cricket. It's got it written all over the face of this man who, when he was dismissed, he was disappointed, but then when he was given the cap for being man of the match, he was chuffed. Tries to turn this ball, which is on leg stump, down the leg side, misses, but there is a wide called. So the extras, I think, would pretty much be at least equal to the top score. It's 7 for 12 with Pandya on 1 and Nair. Is that Nair out there now?
Yep.
It is. He's yet to score. A few blowflies zipping around here looking for some early nourishment. Interesting, they've gone all towards you there, Patrick. I was happy with that.
I did have a shower this morning, although this shirt is a little bit woofy, I must say.
Well, I would suggest that you're close to being correct. Woofy multiplied by quite a few things, but that's okay.
That's okay.
It's okay. You know, we're all about man hugs. You know that.
Yes.
7 for 12. And that's wide of the off stump, and it's called a wide.
Another wide, yeah.
So the runs coming up by 1s and 2s, and that's. But we had a boundary earlier on, and we're not being facetious with the comments we're passing on. We're giving you what we can, and the Australians on song bowling very well and in dominant position. Canada 7 for 13, and a play and a miss outside the off stump. Through it goes to our man with the gloves on, Anthony Baranka.
Yeah, you really get the feeling, Walsh, the Aussies have just taken it to a whole new level, haven't they, this morning? We've moved into semi-finals mode, trying to continue to build their momentum up until the decider tomorrow, which will be played at the Mildura Sporting Precinct. This ball is pushed out through into the covers on the offside, no run. So Wade moving into his 6th over from the Sturt Highway end. And we'll keep a close eye on skipper Andrew Sharp just to see if he may look to ring a change. Maybe bring one of the spin bowlers into the attack. There's an aggressive stroke played that time without success by Pandya, looking to try and take it down the ground.
We were hoping to get Billy Bowden to have a chat to us, but he, of course, is the third umpire and needs to be close to where the action is just in case there is a necessity for the third umpire to be brought in. But at this stage, no. And if Canada, with a big appeal for LBW, a continued shout there from the Australian bowler Mark Wade. He was very interested in it. The umpire wasn't. But from Billy's point of view, Billy has to be close to where the action is, and the action's up here because we've got our TV guys that are punching out the work so well, and that means that the umpire, the third umpire, if necessary, has to have a look at some vision. And so we don't expect Billy to be climbing up and down stairs all day, do we? Or do we?
Well, that's a bigger shout this time for the leg before. Mark Wade can't believe his luck. My goodness, that did look pretty adjacent from our vantage point here. As we can see Pandya just having a quick chat as the players come through.
And now there's a smile between the one of the umpires and Wade the bowler. And why wouldn't there be? As the two Canadians get together, number 15 and number 64. Number 15, Suresh Nair, and number 64 is Askashar Kumar Pandar. 7 for 13. 7 for 13, yes, I'm just repeating it because it's hard to believe, but we're seeing a team bowled out for very little. I was trying to think, in Sheffield Shield cricket, I remember one day, I think South Australia got bowled out for 27 in a Shield match.
In a Shield game?
I think, and it might have even been at the Adelaide Oval,
Wow.
You can check that out for
us. I will, yes.
Now, there was headlines in the paper the next day, 0/, and I'm pretty sure it was 27. But this one is, of course, not at first class level. This is in our spirit of cricket, which we hope you're enjoying our coverage of. And it's going to be one of the worst scores of all time. The Global Spirit of Cricket Festivale. And Canada really in trouble against Australia.
According to ESPN, the lowest score in a Shield match, 32, achieved by New South Wales against Tasmania. So we see Bloomfield push that one through to the keeper. Jackson Bird taking a career best 7 for Tassie.
That's Tasmania against New South Wales,
yeah.
32. Well, there you are. It's hard to believe that score has been accumulated or not accumulated, one of the others. Nothing there on South Australia.
Well, I've just now searched up another link, and your 27 looks to be coming to fruition as we wait again for Bloomfield. So this game was in 1955.
But the 27 one, I wasn't even born then.
South Australia 27
yep.
against New South Wales.
And that happened in...
That was in the second innings back in 1955.
Well, that'd be the one.
South Australia also 29 against the Blue Baggers in 2004. That was batting first.
Gee.
It's probably records that you don't really want to be sitting on the top of the table of, I wouldn't have thought.
No. No, that's very true. Very true. Well, there you are, 27. Sometimes my memory's not too bad. Although I can't remember what won the third at Cannington last night, so...
Nicely bowled again by Bloomfield as... Some exotic footwork from Nair as he tried to get in behind the ball. As we mentioned so far through the broadcast, very busy Australian slip cordon there. 3 slips, a gully. Man, now he's just at backward point. Bloomfield is forcing Nair back into his crease. He defends grimly.
And that's been something, and I'm going with changes in styles. We went through the business of mullets. But a lot of people now, and I think you and me, we fit into a category, although you've got more hair than me, a lot of people are going for the bald look.
Yes, well, I'm overdue for a trim.
I was going to say that.
Yep.
You look very ordinary from where I'm sitting.
So the ball is almost coming back through there to the keeper as we get through the end of 13 overs. 13 overs gone here at the Alcheringa Oval in Golgol with the score at 7 for 13. Going to press through until the drinks break here in this first session, 15 over mark. As Wade is going to continue, he's been unchanged from that Sturt Highway end, has 3 for 9 from 6 overs. Just quickly, Walshy around the grounds, the other over 50 semi, which is being played at Sarah Oval, Australia A, 2 for 59 after 12. It's 2 for 59 after 12 against the United States. So we'll just pause and wait for Mark Wade once again. And the ball's tucked around the corner, but nicely fielded by Bloomfield, no run. And we've got 2 O50's semi-finals underway, one at the McLeod Oval in Wentworth. Australia are 1 for 84 in the 14th over, 1 for 84. after the Spirit of Cricket World 11 won the toss and elected to field. Short leg delivery is dealt with there by Pandya from Mark Wade. And in the game at Kenny Park in Merbean, the Kiwis batting first after winning the toss. Off to a bit of a flyer, none for 80. None for 80 after 15 against Australia A.
A lot of good chirpy stuff too from the New Zealanders when they get themselves grouped in together, and they're pretty confident about what they can do at the end of this competition. And there's a wicket falling that just outside the off stump, and a dab, the attempted dab from Akshay Kumar Pandya, who's been dismissed, caught in the slips cordon, and it's now 8 for 13. Can you believe it? 8 for 13. Pandya out for 1. With overs remaining, well, they're not going to have any problems with the overs. There's another 31 to go, and that score now, let's have a look too. He just hung the bat out like you're doing the washing, and it went straight into the slips cordon. Or wide of the slips, actually, just to probably a gully fieldsman. And a lot of smiles there. Let's see if we can just pick up who.
I think it's Brian May, I think it is.
He's pouched that beautifully, yeah. He's in the team with Anthony Bloomfield for this one, and so it's now 8 for 17.
Yeah, Kiran Patel is the new man coming to the crease as this steady progression of Canadian wickets continues to be an issue for them in this opening session. They just can't get anything going here this morning. Desperate to try and fight their way through here. But we're due for drinks at 15. That's certainly going to be their first barometer, to make sure they can get to that mark.
We'll have to have some green ginger wine to fire them up.
Bit of the old Stones.
That's all good, that.
Yeah,
if you don't drink it, you rub it on your legs, and at least you get warm. Something. That used to be my favourite drink, and I don't drink now. But it used to be when I went to fishing, you'd take a bottle of that, because if it was cold and you couldn't get a fire going, the only fire you could get going was in your belly. If you slurp one of those big 7-ounce glasses into the system, and then you breathed on the water, the carp used to appear to try and get out of the water and away from the smell, and at least you'd get some fish. Beautiful place to go, the Murray, just when you find a spot and you think to yourself, this is a touch of paradise. It's just nice. You're by yourself and just sit down and watch the world go by.
We're pretty lucky here in Sunraysia, Walshy, to have lots of water at our disposal. Lots of great spots and vantage points along the journey.
Mm-hmm. And some of the questions that are asked by our visitors, and I just want to put my tourism hat on for a minute when we see the start of a new over and see whether or not we can see any of Kiran Patel, who's forward and pushes away on the offside. The question that I was asked was, do you think it's a good idea to go on the paddle boat? And it might have been to one of the USA guys, and I said, look, do everything that you possibly can, because you might never be back in this part of the world again. They said, okay. And the next question was, the response was different, and I'll give you a Q&A in a sec as Wade bowls a new over and it's pushed back down the ground. There's no run. He said, what's the river called? And I said, it's called the Murray. He said, yeah, where does that start? And I said, at the top of Australia. Where does it finish? At the bottom of Australia. And he said, serious? And I said, no, well, I'm telling you, it's serious. And when we talk about it, we think, wow. And you work out, when you get a map, you Google as to where it goes, what it does. And I know that I was living in South Australia for a while, and you could always find some part of the Murray. And then, of course, when the Kratzmans, they're coming down from Queensland, they're talking about it. He is an amazing river when you think about how much terrain it covers in the journey. And then you think to yourself, hang on, who's that girl that swam the whole length of it? Who was it? Now, I'll think of it too, because she finished up going through Murray Bridge, and I was there one day, and she went through Murray Bridge faster than the horses that were racing at Caulfield when I was listening. And it's just amazing how people take that on as a challenge. And what a magnificent river. And it's in your own backyard, isn't it?
It is. So many great stories, so many great communities that hang off it. From an agricultural sense, recreational sense. I mean, it's great to see the ski boats out on the Murray. As we wait here for Anthony Bloomfield, moving into his third over. And this time the ball is pushed out the offside by Suresh Nair. So Wade has got through 7 overs from the Sturt Highway end for 4 maidens and 4 for 9. So he's made a really good start, even though he's been a little bit wayward at times, Peter. He certainly picked up the wickets along the way as well.
True. Now, after this ball, I might get you to do me a small favour if you don't mind, my friend, please. Could you grab my iPad for me that's on charge, and you're doing that beautifully? Can you remember days when you didn't have an iPad?
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Were they good days?
I probably did a lot more talking to someone at the other end as opposed to looking at a screen, I guess, but certainly very useful, aren't they?
Well, if you haven't got an iPad...
Oh, that one's a little bit errant and down the leg side from Bloomfield. Reasonable job by Baranka to actually put a stop to it, as it looked like it was hurrying down towards fine leg. Just lost the radar a little bit there. That time, Anthony, who looked to go back to his mark and reset. So the score advances to 8 for 14. We're in the 15th over. We'll take a drinks break at the conclusion of this particular over. We'll get a chance to reset and recharge, as this ball is through again to the wicketkeeper Baranka. But Bloomfield looks like he's got some good momentum, good rhythm coming in from that Murray River end. Left arm over the wicket. Just giving the Aussies that extra bit of variation with the new ball attack. Of course, Craig Trindle is having a break today. This time Nair's comfortable in behind that one as he pushes it out into the covers. Nice bit of work there by Grant Milbank. He's another one of the seamers we may expect to see. He might come in and take over from Mark Wade at that Sturt Highway end in the session after the drinks break. As Bloomfield goes to work on the RJR ball. This time he's just pitching, holding its line across the left-hander and going through to the keeper. As the sun continues to break through the clouds here across the border in New South Wales. We're coming to you from the Alcheringa Oval in Golgold. Tops at 21 degrees locally. Bureau is saying slight chance of a late morning and afternoon shower, but I feel like the clouds are reasonably high at the moment, so we're looking pretty comfortable. As we get the last one from Bloomfield. And ball, I think, is not quite carried through there into the cordon. So there was a chance of another breakthrough for the Aussies, but not to be. So at the end of 15 overs here at the Alcheringa Oval in Golgold, Canada are 8 for 14. And it looks like we are going to take a drinks break.
What's going on?
That's you.
What do you expect me to do about it?
It's time.
It's time to see my mates at CPAP Direct. They help me get my sleep apnea sorted, and they offer good old-fashioned customer service and support. CPAP Direct not only have the latest technology in sleep testing, CPAP machines and masks, they can help you too.
You can leave the mask on.
What?
Begins with passion. It begins with Yashi Sports. Canada's home of cricket, trusted by players worldwide. From head to toe, complete, Cricket Solutions, official uniform supplier for GT20 and CCMC. For every walk to the crease, for every bold start, for every fearless shot, Yashi Sports. Canada's home of cricket.
Every moment captured in real time. Wickets, boundaries, bowling, batting, all brought to life. Vision AI turns data into visuals for analysis, streaming and content. NV Play. Vision AI. The future of cricket is here.
Are you a batsman who's still training hard, still getting starts, but the big score won't come? It's not your technique, it's your process. Email the word SPIRIT to info@simplebatting.com and we'll show you the 3 steps serious batsmen are using to become the run scorer their team relies on after season.
Welcome back to what's happening in the world of cricket. And in the world of cricket, it is a world that belongs to the Australia A team in this match at Goal. The winner of this game that finished in top spot, that was Australia, and in 4th spot Canada. But Australia bowling along to what's going to be a pretty easy win, because Canada are 8 for 14. Yes, you got it right. 8 for 14. It's been total capitulation after they won the toss and elected to bat. And I wanted to make mention of this fact that when we pass on details, we try and give you as much as we can. We're talking about the magnificent Murray River. And I was trying to think of the person who was kind enough to give us an interview when she broke the record. And she's from Victoria, Tammy Van Visser. And Tammy, as this ball outside the off stump goes through to the wicketkeeper. She was born in Melbourne, a long-distance swimmer in Australia. As a marathon swimmer, she swam the Murray River in 2001. The distance, incidentally, is 2,438 kilometres, and she swam it. She swam the English Channel in 1993 in a time of 8 hours 35, and again in 1994 in 8 hours 33. And she broke an 81-year-old record held by Gertrude Jacobs-Edel for the 35k swim from New York to wherever Sandy Hook is. No idea. Retired from competitive swimming to start a family. She now works as an environmentalist and a motivational speaker. She is an absolute darling. She's a wonderful person, but she swam the Murray River in 2001 in a distance of 2,438. Got there and talked about it afterwards as to swimming in where there was no sharks or anything like that in the Murray River, but the fact is she got welches on the body and she was bitten and done all sorts of things, and there's a lot of rubbish in the river at certain spots. How about that for a journey? And thank you to those people who've been kind enough to give us details, because she is one of those that has a record that I don't think too many people would want to try and break.
Mighty achievement, absolutely. As we see the Canadians moving their score along to 8 for 15 now in the 16th over. Mark Wade potentially is going to go through his full 9 overs in this opening spell from the Sturt Highway end. Has 4 for 10, almost completed his 8th. Has one more delivery to go. He's bowling to Suresh Nair, who's been pretty solid. He's faced 15 balls, yet to get off the mark, and that one a little bit wayward from Mark Wade. He gets away with it though, and that is the end of the 16th over. So Canada 8 for 15 after winning the toss and batting first in this semi-final. Part of the Global Spirit of Cricket Festivale. We're coming to you from Alcheringa Oval in Goal. We'll move back into the Mildura CBD tomorrow for the final, which will be played out at the Mildura Sporting Precinct. And looks like we're pretty confident we know who one of the teams will be, Walshy, which is more than likely to be Australia. It's just a matter of who wins the other semi, which is currently being played at number 3 Oval, Sarah Oval in Mildura. Current score there is the A team, the Australian A boys, 2 for 85 after 15. So they're just in their drinks break at the moment.
And we were talking earlier on about this track and how good or bad or indifferent it was, and we were making mention of Festivale, who was the captain of the team from the United States of America, who made 106. And he said it was a magnificent track, no problems whatsoever. He played with authority and played with flair and batted so brilliantly. And do you reckon that anything out of the ordinary has favoured the bowler today? This is not exactly the same track, but here we are at the same venue. Or is it just good bowling? First ball outside the off, nearly tickled it through too.
I get a feeling it actually might be the same track they brought up from Thursday, but it looked pretty good when we were out there early this morning, Peter. Nice and hard, a few cracks starting to appear, but it's just been good bowling. I think the Aussies have swung the ball away from the outside edge of the bat, and the Canadians have just been sucked in, I guess. They've had to play at a lot of deliveries, and they've snicked off to the cordon and who've taken some great catches.
Yes, and what they've done now is they've given us a reason to be chuffed, because when the field is being set, it's just in like a circle.
Yeah.
It's like a circle. There's two slips in a gully. There's a point. There's a cover. There's a mid-off, mid-on, short mid-wicket and a short backward square leg, although behind square on the onside. And so there's nowhere to really push the ball and get any ones and twos unless you can get through the field, and the Australians are gleeful. They're jumping on anything to make sure that they're not going to be giving any easy runs away.
Well, I guess the options for the Canadians is either to play the dour rear guard action as pretty much what we've seen through the whole innings, or someone comes out and tries to take the bull by the horns and put the question back to the Australians by playing some attacking strokes, but haven't really seen any sign of that so far through the opening hour and 15.
No, that's true. Playing a miss outside the off stump. Just a little wide for the attempted drive off the front foot. That's from Kiran Patel. And he stays where he is. And at least when you're going through the scorecard, you haven't got to remember too many flashy shots, although we did have a boundary.
That was pretty early, wasn't it, in the first couple of overs? So runs have been hard to come by. Sundry's leading the way at the moment with seven wides from the Aussies, as Bloomfield is just angling the ball into the right-hander. Patel just nudges out into the onside. So he's also got the tidy return of 1 for 5. Anthony Bloomfield, he's just about finished up his 4th over here. Bowling from the Murray River end as we look around the outskirts of the ground. Not heaps of movement in the trees, but as we mentioned, ball goes down the leg side, signal to the wide, so he'll have one more, Bloomfield. Our feeling when we were out there for the address at the start of the game and the anthems is that the wind was just going straight across the ground, basically blowing straight over the top of our commentary box, which probably doesn't necessarily favour any bowler from either end. But most of the Australian bowlers have managed to swing the ball appreciably so far in this opening session. This time, ball is just dabbed down towards third man. They should get back for a second here as Sharma's setting off in pursuit. Gets down over the ball and returns back to keeper Baranka. So 2 more to the Canadian score. They're 8 for 18 at the end of 17 overs here at Alcheringa Oval in Golgol. It's the Global Spirit of Cricket Festivale. Pat Silcox and Peter Walsh.
Of course, we're rolling into finals time, and then next week we have a whole new competition starting with 8 teams getting ready to rock and roll, and frenetic action. So you need to jump onto where you're finding your information on TV, and there'll be a fair bit happening, and there won't be any push prod. It'll be a lot of slap and tickle, won't there?
There's absolutely no doubt about that. I was just going to try and have a look at our itinerary to see where we are and who we've got for the opening day of the T20 games.
I've got no idea where we are now, so does that help?
That's okay. So Thursday we'll start up as we once again wait on Mark Wade. Oh, gee, that's a pretty decent effort again from Kratzmann to get down low. I think it might have just got on the bounce to him, but for a big man, as you mentioned earlier, Walsh, he can cover the ground beautifully, can't he? He got down, clutched at the ball and picked it up on the half volley in the end as it turned out. So unfortunately, no Michelle Pfeiffer at this stage for Mark Wade, but again, the ball away from the left-hander, troubling the Canadian batsman.
Yes, he showed a lot of agility getting across, and he's doing the clapping now and puts his arms together, gets himself organised. There's a little bit of chat between them as to how close did he get. It's hard for us to pick up from here, but he's already taken 3 catches, and he's doing very well on getting himself into position at second slip. That one just outside the off stump, and through it goes to the keeper. And we talk about just what they would talk about if it wasn't a drop catch, but You know, they've got to have something to say, haven't they? They've got to just can't stand there with arms folded all day. He just has a little bit of a chin wag and gets himself settled. Baranka's the keeper. He's a good one too. That's a good shot too, off the front foot, wide of point on the offside. Number 63 getting out there and doing the fielding. Was it 63 out there? James Morris. He's out there. I haven't got that name on the list, have I? Somewhere. I'll find it. There's a few names in this book.
Oh, that's pretty well bowled. The slower ball, which just deceived Nair there, just a little bit higher elevation on that delivery from Wade, and it came down from a pretty decent height, and he did pretty well to cover his stumps there, because he certainly initially hadn't picked the fact that Wade had mixed that one up. It was beautifully bowled as he gets to the top of his mark. His final delivery of his 9-over spell, and that one's just pushed away out into the offside, and there's no run. So what a stint from Mark Wade. 9 overs, 4 for 10. Canada are 8 for 18 in the 18th over, as we just quickly revert back to our draw moving forward into the T20 competition. Peter Walsh, Thursday, September 25, we get underway with the RJR All-Stars and the Phoenix Firebirds. That one to be played out at the Mildura Sporting Precinct. We have a 10 a.m. start for that one, and then I reckon we're doubling up with a night fixture also at the MSP, which will get underway from around about 6:30 Australian Eastern Standard Time. EV2 Cricket and the Saxon Kings.
Dogs dates on the scoreboard, 8 for 18 in 18. So there you are. We can't talk too much about who's done well with the willow for Canada, because they haven't had anyone that has looked to be pushing into double figures. We had a boundary that was scored early in the piece by Gudapali. That's the only one. And the others have come in extras, which are 8. And the others have just been either quacks or a single here and a single there. So total dominance from the Australians. 8 for 20. Patel 5 and Nair yet to score. This ball is wide, and Baranka having a chat. A lot of discussion going on between Mace, who was in the slips, and Mace, of course, jumping about and taking a good catch early in the piece, getting rid of the captain after Kazia. But the Australians have fielded well and have done everything in terms of a game plan. They've obviously been to the fore.
They've ticked every box, haven't they, Walshy?
Yeah, it's been very impressive indeed. This ball, nearly a tickle too. He just hung the bat out, and Baranka walks back to be facing where we are in our commentary box and puts the gloves behind his back. That was oh so close.
Wasn't it? Almost looked like there was a bit of a deflection there. Just, I think, a bit of late movement off the track. Ball hitting the seam. As Bloomfield continues. There's 1 for 10, and this is 5th over. Really hustles his way through, doesn't he, the big left armour?
He does.
Once again, getting a nice bit of tail back through the air, and then a little bit additionally off the seam.
I know that the conditions today, well, we're sitting in a commentary box, so the only people apart from us here, well, they're not people, but they're dead flies, and if I look to my left, there are a few that are gathering. But it's okay here. I think it's a bit fresh still outside with the wind. A few people that are here making sure they have the gear. This ball is worked away with not a lot of confidence, backward of square on the offside, runs along the ground to be fielded there by Prasan Sharma, and the score stays at 8 for 20.
So 19 overs gone, as we just have a quick look at the current conditions here. 16.2, feels like 11.8. Breeze is coming out of the west-northwest. Around about 19 kilometres an hour. So as we said, it's There's a bit about it going across the ground. The Australians have used it to their advantage with some good swing bowlings. It looks like Prashant Sharma is warming up, going through a couple of loosening deliveries. So the leg spinner being called into the attack from the Sturt Highway end. See one of the Australians just organising their protective equipment.
Being shielded too.
Yes.
I'm not sure if anyone's looking over there, but still.
He's going for the pads now,
Yep.
as opposed to the traditional leg guards with the spin bowler in operation.
Yeah, the wicket keepers, they've got to get themselves organised when they're ready to go out, because as soon as they go out there, if they've forgotten anything, it's rather embarrassing to walk off and say, I didn't bring a box, can you throw one in my direction? Oh no, that's always been one of those situations I love when you're watching the keeper in action, and Ian Healy was one that he went through his regular routine, and of course you've got the fastest bowlers in the land, and then all of a sudden you've got the best spinner in the world, so you had to be able to be adept at both of those policies.
Yep.
Yeah, we've been very lucky with our spinners. Remember when, let's say, Peter Taylor got selected for the Australians and everyone thought it was the wrong name.
Yes.
And you thought, well, he's there, good on him. And I'm just amazed too. My first recollections of Nathan Lyon was when he was working at the Adelaide Oval.
As a groundsman,
yeah. And just a champion person, a very nice man. And you think, hang on, has he taken all those wickets? And he has. And now we're not too sure if he's going to be in the test team. I'm not taking the selectors' thoughts into mind now, but you're never too sure now. You're not sure. You're posing on that one, so that's a good thing.
I'm thinking, I sort of feel, I know someone brought this up a couple of days ago, around our lunch table discussion about the fact if there's no one else better to replace you, then you are the incumbent. You retain your spot. I'm not sure there's too many other better spinners than Nathan Lyon in Australia at the moment.
No, look, I'm with you. And, of course, the question mark about Cummins as to whether or not he's going to be able to charge in and bowl that first test ball in November, late November. That's not far away. First ball is pushed away, or attempt to push away outside the off stump, and it spins through to Barranca. And it's probably been, and you love your cricket as much as I do, it's probably been, or could be, one of the most interesting Australian 11s that we pick for the first test.
Yeah, a lot of question marks about the top of the order, isn't there? Who's going to be batting at number 3?
Yep.
Sharma giving that one a little extra flight, pushing it across the left-hander outside the off stump.
Now, I know our viewers are watching and they're, I hope, soaking up what we've got to offer. But, of course, we look forward in Australia to the Ashes. It's all about the rivalry that exists between Australia and England. And they've played some mighty matches. And people just, I know friends of mine just go to England when Australia go there, and they think, well, we're going there to watch all the county matches. Not as many now that they used to play.
No.
But just to go and have a look.
You sort of feel on current form, the Aussies are going to be under the pump. I think England have been playing some pretty decent cricket, haven't they?
I'm with you. Uwa says straight away, oh, you'll win 5-0. Oh, hang on.
I can't see it, Walsh. I couldn't see us beating them 5-0.
No, look, we should have a bet on that, should we? No, we're not allowed to. Well, you can, but I'll just put a few dollars over for you.
I just feel like England are getting all their ducks in a row. They've got Jofra Archer now back into the rotation, getting himself right. Mark Wood, I reckon, will be a Monty to make his way out. So they'll potentially have 2 to 3 bowlers bowling mid-140s at us.
Yep.
Won't make our life easy at all, I wouldn't have thought.
Well, it's good to look forward to what is coming up, this series. And of course, India and Pakistan play each other occasionally, which is always good because there's no love lost between the two countries. There's good fun in following those teams when they play. And we're following these two teams that are playing here, and that's Australia and Canada. And Canada are 8 for 20. 8 for 20 with 25 overs still remaining. Bloomfield's finished his overs. Sharma's out there at the moment. 8 for 20 after winning the toss and batting. And not having so much fun out there. There hasn't been too much to get excited about at all, except the Australian bowling and fieldsmen.
Just trying to get a handle on a bowling change, I reckon, Walshy, from the Murray River end. It's going to be Grant Milbank coming into the attack, so they continue to leave the seam bowling from that river end as Prashant Sharma going through a bit of a pre-over ritual there just to try and loosen up the sinews, the muscles.
Well, was he trying to do push-ups then? Because I reckon I could have done one better than that. He doesn't go down far with his chin, does he?
No, not at all. Playing it safe, I think you might say.
Oh, no, when I say well done to Jess D. Tarzinski from Mildura, who is affectionately known as Scooter because her father is known as Wheelbarrow. Now, I'm not making these names up. No. And Scooter was going to come and say hello where possible because she's one of those who was just so fully involved in this competition that she's available for all teams, but all she needs to do is get from one ground to another. And she has a reputation that will be taken away from this competition, and in glowing terms, she's done a brilliant job. Hopefully we'll be able to chat with her a little later on. The Scooter. Have you met Wheelbarrow?
Yes. Yes, a bit of a local icon.
I know where you met him. Let's prepare yourself for some mirth.
Okay.
I reckon you would have met him at Bunnings.
Oh, no. No.
Well, come on, join in, will you? You're giving me nothing.
Peter Detarzinski, local identity, builder of high repute, and certainly legend at the Mildura Settlers Cricket Club for many years.
Yep.
Jess also playing her cricket at the sets. As Milbank's just dropped straight onto a line of length, hasn't he? Left armour, bowling over the wicket. And both these men have certainly managed to bat a bit of time here. Patel, 5 from his 20 deliveries. Nair's faced 28. Still yet to get off the mark.
No, a bit slow. Now, I tell you who I did meet too, and you can help me with this one. It's a Ted Fordham, who was the bus driver for the Canadian team.
I think we bumped into him here on Thursday, didn't we? Out in the middle.
Sure. But he was thrilled at what he was being able to do because he could talk to them as the local and give information out as to where the best places were to go and where those that were to go were not as good as others. And there's so many people who fill in these gaps that need to be filled in, people that make the food for us, for our lunch, etc., bring up the water, the scorers, of course, we've mentioned them, the television crews, which do a mighty job for bringing the vision to those who are watching. It doesn't all just happen, does it?
Lots of moving parts, Walshy. They all desperately need to be thanked.
Yep, very true.
Doing a great job. As Milbank just angles down the leg side, Patel takes it off his hip, and they'll pick up a single down there towards the 45 at short fine leg. So 8 for 21. Midway through the 21st over. Patel 5. Nair yet to score. Just checking his guard now. The new bowler Milbank in operation. He'd still be pretty edgy, pretty nervy, wouldn't he? He'd be really desperate to get off the mark here.
Well, 28 deliveries.
It's a long time, isn't it?
Yeah. Nair. He's the man that we're... Sureth Nair, wearing number 15. And he is out there at the moment. He's a left-hander. And he's about ready to receive from Milbank, who's been on song. He's on his way in now and bowls, and he stretches forward and still to get off the mark. That's 29 deliveries he's faced, and the score stays at 8 for 21 after the toss fell and Canada decided, yeah, let's have a bat. Well, nothing happened for a while except wickets fell, and the man that got involved was Morris, who with the ball, and Kratzman gobbling up some good catches in the slips cordon. This next ball, and the attempted push away only goes about a half a metre on the left-hand side, and that completes another over from Milbank. The score here is 8 for 21. The toss was won by Canada, but unfortunately, that's all they've won so far. The Australians dominating. The opening partnership with the ball with Wade and Morris was quite spectacular. Wickets just continued to fall, and we had to scratch our eyes and think, is this really happening? Well, it was. The score at the moment is 8 for 21. 8 for 21. Wade and Morris have had all sorts of fun. Bloomfield coming in and picking up a snag as well. So the Australians looking to win this game and finish on top. And they will, with this semi-final, they'll go into a final. But it doesn't look as if Canada can go any further. I'm just not sure what can happen. We're sort of pushing and probing and hoping that something will happen. But in all honesty, at 8 for 21, you can't see the remainder getting too many, and you'd expect that this would be all over very, very shortly as we see a new over being bowled for the Australians by Prasan Sharma, and that's pushed away on the offside and there's no run.
I think they'll be pretty determined, Walshy, to see how long they can go here. Try and get to that 45 over mark, and if they can, maybe the score around 100. It's not a massive tally in any sense of the word, but low score sometimes in big games can be challenging if you lose a couple of early wickets the second session.
What sort of medication do you want at the moment?
Come on, Peter. Got to call it as you see it.
Well, the problem they've got is that, is anyone prepared to say, right, I'm going to try and hit one over the top? Because, of course, if they fumble and stumble and don't hit it properly, they're out. There's only one wicket left.
True.
Yeah, I think the Australian bowlers have mentally, they're in touch with what's going on with their abilities to be able to change the bowling over. And from a point of view of Canada now trying to dig themselves out of this massive hole, that's not going to work. And they can let balls go through. They can do all that. I've got no idea of the mindset that's being set by Aftab Kazir, who is their captain in this game. But if they're going to score runs, I think the only way is to take risks. And you haven't got too many risks left in the shed.
No, that is true. There's Sharma just giving up a wide there, that previous delivery. This time he's getting it in the right zone. Nicely dealt with there by Kiran Patel. All pushed out into the offside. So 8 for 22, and this is the 22nd over. Still 23 overs remaining in this first innings.
Well, I'll pose one to you in just a moment after this ball. It's outside the off stump and through to Baranka. The Australians, let's say they win this game and they win this convincingly, then there's a big gap in the rest of their day. Do they stay in cricket mode now, or do they think, okay, we've got this done now, we've got a final coming up? Or what's the mentality now? What's the mindset as we watch this ball outside the off stump and through to Baranka? Where do they go from here now? What have they learned from today, or do they need to, in any way, fine-tune anything?
Look, I think they'll just stay together as a group. They'll enjoy each other's company. They'll be satisfied that they've come to the game today and made every post a winner, certainly so far in the contest. I think that it'll all be about managing themselves, making sure they're up and 100% ready to go for the final tomorrow, Walshy.
Yeah, it's hard to know if they could learn anything from this. They've bowled so well. The catching's been extraordinary, particularly the three that have been taken by Kratzmann, the tallest, or one of the tallest players in the Australian team. That slip just took them with ease and looked so good about it and looked pretty happy about it too. And the slip's cordon now for the bowling of Milbank is there for the hope that a tickle will be through. There's a catch, or is there?
We're going upstairs, I reckon, here, Walshy, for a stumping opportunity. Gee, that was very tidy work, wasn't it, from Anthony Baranka standing up as Nair just leant forward and come off balance. He's just trying to make sure he could get off the mark there. He's going to stand his ground out in the middle, and this will call Billy Bowden into action. But, my goodness, quick as a flash, Anthony Baranka had them off.
Well, I'll tell you what, there was some backslapping going on from the Australian fieldsmen. Now, how they could pick it up, I don't know, but they were very excited. Let's have a look now and see if we can just pick up what the setup is. He pushed outside the off stump. Oh, that was brilliant stumping opportunity that may, in actual fact, have resulted in the digit. We'll wait and see. The two are waiting, and we will hopefully see another look.
I think his only concern is he may have lifted that back foot up as he was losing balance, trying to push forward, playing the stroke. So that will be certainly what Billy Bowden will be looking at. And it looks like the decision is in the affirmative for the Australians. Another wicket falls here at the Alcheringa Oval in Gold. We'll get the side-on view here. Now just have a look, Walshy, at the back foot. As Nair pushes forward, he lifts and then just lost his balance and couldn't ground. And Baranka, master of his element there, had them off in a jiffy. and got it done beautifully. So another wicket falls, 9 down for 22, the Canadians, as unfortunately Suresh Nair has to make his way off the ground after batting for 56 minutes, facing 31 deliveries, but not troubling the scorers.
No, and the work done by Barranca, I know that in the slips you set yourself high standards to take those catches, but as a wicket-keeper for a stumping, that was so quick. The ball had just reached his gloves when all of a sudden the ball has been transferred from gloves onto the bails that flew in the air. And I reckon you don't see much better than that from Barranca, and I'm reckoning that he's going to love the vision of that. He'll keep that for a good time because he's got that one, and the score now is 9 for 22, with the toss being won by Canada in this semi-final. And Barranca, I'd say he could get the man of the... I'm serious, he could get the man of the match for that. That was brilliant.
He's been outstanding, as we see Vivek Puri make his way out to the middle. So the last man standing here for the Canadians.
Yeah, amazing work then. Initially I thought it might have been a caught behind call, but then as soon as Barranca spun around and looked at the square leg umpire, and oh boy, that is just so neat. We've talked about the tradesmen behind the stumps, and we've got some good ones, and he's one of the best too, Barranca, who stands up now and is hoping to add to that brilliant stumping that was able to put the score down now at 9 for 22, and we talked about a 27 and a 32, and they're in first-class games being played a long, long time ago. Well, this one will be one of the smallest scores in this competition. Of that, there is no doubt. And at 9 for 22, let's see what Milbank can do. He's in and bowls, and it's an attempt to push it away on the offside. It's the pad and bounces back on the track. So a bit of discussion there between number 54 for the Australians. That's Steve Mace, who's talking to number 57, Anthony Barranca. And a smile from the Australians camp because Milbank, he's picked up a wicket. Let's see what he can do. He's still got a few balls to bowl in this over, which is he bowls now and push forward on the onside, no run. Australians working well and a lot of chemistry. I don't like that word, but it fits in. As soon as there is some action there, they're all together in a group. Yep. They're all talking about what's going on.
Yeah, I think they bowled with great variation today. They've had the ball swinging both ways, and it's been disconcerting for the Canadian batsmen, just really not in full knowledge of exactly what's coming at them from the other end. They've pitched the ball up, which has allowed it to swing. They certainly have bowled to a good plan, haven't they?
They have. This ball wide of the off stump, and it's the slippers that were doing the talking, and there's no run. So we're going to see this innings completed very shortly, you'd expect it. 9 for 22 in the 23rd over. So just creeping up to the halfway mark, and the Australians not too many to take to try and win this game. This next ball pushed away on the onside, no power on the stroke, and it rolls out to short mid-wicket, where the umpires are David Schofield and Alan Owens, and the third umpire is Billy Bowden. And the two Canadians having a chat with each other. I'm not sure what they could talk about that would be in any other way positive, Mott. Just having a decent yarn out there, I can tell you.
Wonder whether we might have just gotten through a 5-ball over there. We haven't seen there's the updated details on our NV Play overlay. So 9 for 22 after 23. And Milbank has 2 overs, 2 maidens, 1 for none. To tell you what, there has not been many runs scored at that Murray River end in this innings, has there?
No.
Because Morris bowled the first 5 from there and had 3 for none. And now Milbank's bowled a further 2 without any runs taken from his bowling. As Sharma just dragging that one down a little bit short. And, gee, I think the umpire was considering to call that one as a wide. Allows it, though, to go through to the keeper.
It seems ages ago when we saw the US of A smash a big 106 with 5 sixes down the ground at this venue. We haven't seen too many balls hit in the air, have we?
No, not probably not even one that I can recall in the opening hour and 40-odd minutes of this first session here this morning.
The bowlers will enjoy getting their figures kept for posterity purposes because there's some good ones. And this ball driven off the front foot and driven well, but straight to cover. And there's no run. So when wickets do fall and you sit down and you're just going quietly, and then all of a sudden they say, well, you better put your pads on, you might be out there soon. There hasn't been too much R&R for any of the batsmen waiting to get in there and get out and get involved now. At the moment, the bowling is being done by Prasan Sharma. He doesn't get a lot of time to settle into his work, does he?
I know during my playing days, Walsh, you always used to have nightmares about getting timed out, and I almost achieved that feat right towards the end of my playing days. I'll elaborate on that a little bit later here as Sharma continues from the Sturt Highway end, none for one in his third over.
I think you should elaborate now because we might have the innings over in the next ball.
Right, okay. Well, it was a day where I was playing as a 12th man, effectively playing the second week as a fill-in, and I'll continue after this delivery from Sharma. And he goes for the quicker ball as it's swung out into mid-wicket, and I believe the catch has been taken. Fantastic bit of work there as the ball's been hung on to. I reckon that's Grant Milbank, who's got the job done for the Aussies as they claim the final scalp of the Canadian innings, as we get a chance to have another look back at that one on the Enjoy Wine Char Grill and Bar action replay as Sharma just short, stopped into the wicket, and Patel, all he could do was just escort the ball around the corner, and Grant Milbank gleefully clutches to the ball there, just onto the cut square, and it was a nice finish for the Aussies, who have been totally dominant in this opening session this morning. And we see the Canadian batsman walk from the field, and we'll wait and see whether we take just the genuine change of innings break here, or whether we might have an early morning tea, a longer break here, but we'll get some direction shortly. But 24 overs completed by the Australians and the Canadians. Peter Walsh all out for 22.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that they should have or could have been able to not any more runs being scored. Now the umpires are chatting to the Australians just to get a read on what's going to happen now. I think they're going to be giving the applaud for the Australian bowlers in particular. We had Wade, who was extraordinary, and so too was Morris. They've both bowled brilliantly, and they're applauding. Why not would they be? Everybody is pretty happy in the Australian team, and from the Canadian team, a score of just 22. Now, what are they going to do?
Should we go through the card, Walshy,
yes,
just
please,
before we take a break here from this first session? So the wickets to fall today: Kaiser caught Mace, bowled Morris, no score. Goodapali caught Kratzman, bowled Wade for 4. Iqbal caught Kratzman, bowled Morris for a duck. Harahan caught Kratzman, bowled Morris again for no score. Singh bowled Bloomfield for 2. Lingam, LBW to Wade, no score. Ali, LBW to Wade for no score. Nair was stumped. Baranka bowled Milbank for a duck. Pandya caught May, bowled Wade for 1. Patil was the last man out, caught Milbank, bowled Sharma for 5. And Puri remained not out, no score. So 22 in 24 overs with 10 sundries, made up of 1 leg bye and 9 wides. And the bowling figures for the Aussies: Morris, 5 overs, 5 maidens, 3 for none. Wade, 9 overs, 5 maidens, 4 for 10. Bloomfield, 5 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 10. Prashant Sharma took 1 for 1 in his 3 overs. And Grant Milbank, 2 overs, 2 maidens, 1 for none.
Well, that was the sick and sorry sign. Unfortunately, Canada picking the most important game of this tournament to produce their worst performance with the bat. Of that, there's no wicket for no reason. I think that the track was all right, but it wasn't lethal. And I think it was good bowling, tight bowling, but more importantly, the fielding by the Australians, the catching, so vital, and getting themselves ready and organised. It must have been, I reckon, all of those that went in off the tennis racket of Mr. Kratzman, and the son here, the big fella, took that brilliantly, and it was well done to Andrew Kratzman for picking up those 3 wickets. But I'm just not sure what is going to happen now. Everyone seems to have disappeared. We're going to have
a 10-minute break.
10-minute break.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. So what we might do is take a pause here at the Alcheringa Oval in Golgol, and we will return in 10 minutes for the second session of Day 4 of the Global Spirit of Cricket Festivale.
tropical North Victoria, where adventure awaits you around every bend. But unlike Queensland, you don't have to worry about crocs. Epically wide river that goes forever. Perfect for water sports. Your next adventure is in Mildura, and it's just a short flight away. We'll see you there.
Biograin grows organic grains for strength, vitality and joy. Every grain carries the strength of the land, bringing real nourishment to every table. Because health isn't just about eating well, it's about living fully. Organic nutrition meets senior cricket. Alliance Biograin and CCMC, nourishing seniors, one meal, one match, one moment of joy.
What's going on?
That's you.
What do you expect me to do about it?
It's time.
It's time to see my mates at CPAP Direct. They help me get my sleep apnea sorted, and they offer good old-fashioned customer service and support. CPAP Direct not only have the latest technology in sleep testing, CPAP machines and masks, they can help you too.
You can leave the mask on.
What?
Begins with passion. It begins with Yashi Sports. Canada's home of cricket, trusted by players worldwide. From head to toe, complete cricket solutions, official uniform supplier for GT20 and CCMC. For every walk to the crease, for every bold start, for every fearless shot, Yashi Sports. Canada's home of cricket.
Every moment, captured in real time. Wickets, boundaries, bowling, batting, all brought to life. Vision AI turns data into visuals for analysis, streaming and content. NV Play. Vision AI. The future of cricket is here.
Are you a batsman who's still training hard, still getting starts, but the big scores come? It's not your technique, it's your process. The word spirit to info@simplebatting.com, and we'll show you the simple steps serious batsmen are using to become the run scorer their team relies on, season after season.
tropical North Victoria, where adventure awaits you around every bend. But unlike Queensland, you don't have to worry about crocs. Epically wide river that goes forever. Perfect for water sports. Your next adventure is in Mildura, and it's just a short flight away. We'll see you there.
Alliance Biograin grows organic grains for strength, vitality and joy. Every grain carries the strength of the land, bringing real nourishment to every table. Because health isn't just about eating well, it's about living fully. Organic nutrition meets senior cricket. Alliance Biograin and CCMC, nourishing seniors, one meal, one match, one moment of joy.
What's going on?
That's you.
What do you expect me to do about it?
It's time.
It's time to see my mates at CPAP Direct. They help me get my sleep apnea sorted and they offer good old-fashioned customer service and support. CPAP Direct not only have the latest technology in sleep testing, CPAP machines and masks, they can help you too.
You can leave the mask on.
What?
Begins with passion. It begins with Yashi Sports. Canada's home of cricket, trusted by players worldwide. From head to toe, complete cricket solutions. Official uniform supplier for GT20 and CCMC. For every walk to the crease, for every bold start, for every fearless shot, Yashi Sports. Canada's home of cricket.
Every moment captured in real time. Wickets, boundaries, bowling, batting, all brought to life. Vision AI turns data into visuals for analysis, streaming and content. NV Play. Vision AI. The future of cricket is here. Every moment captured in real time.
What's going to happen?
Boundaries,
Who
bowling,
knows?
batting,
All we know is
all
the
brought to
Australians
life.
are out there to
Vision
bat,
AI turns data
and they
into
haven't got a
visuals
lot
for
of
analysis,
runs to
streaming
chase
and
down.
content.
Can you believe that Canada
NV
won
Play.
the toss?
Vision
And that's
AI.
all they won today. And we're not being critical. All we're doing is stating the obvious. They decided to bat, and they were all out for 22. All out for 22. Wade took 4 for 10. Morris took 3 for none. Broomfield 1 for 10. Sharma 1 for 1. And Milbank took a wicket. So they all had fun, and no one had fun with the bat. There was a boundary struck, and most of the discussions that are going on now are as to how long will it take for the Australians to score runs and win the game as the first ball is driven down the ground for a single and a missed field. So they'll be able to get back and complete 2. Ball hit well, and they'll come back for 3 if you don't mind. And we, as Peter Walsh and Pat Silcox are back in the box talking earlier on, and we were talking about, I was talking to Mark Kratzman, he was telling me, did you like the way we ran 4 early in one of the games that we were broadcasting? And I said, I think that's the only time we've seen someone run 4.
Yep.
Well, that's not a bad start. None for 3, and the total to chase down is 23 for a win.
So the Aussies have gone into bat with Simon Nish and Anthony Barenka, so just changing up the order a little bit here as Roy set sail. The ball angled down the leg side. Keeper is unable to collect, so they'll get through for another run there. So none for 4. Roy's bowling from the Sturt Highway end. And you feel like these two Australians batting in the caps are going to look to get after it, Walshy.
Yes, and I want you to jump onto your abilities of finding out, is or has there been any cricket where the extras have been the most number scored in a run total? The run total was 22 and there were 10 extras. And the Australians with another misfield in the open, and that could go all the way for 4. So in the first over, if you don't mind, chasing a total of 23 to win the game, Australia are none for 8 with Nish on 7 and Baranka yet to score. And we did mention when the Canadian team all out for 22, they had 10 extras. Patil made 5 and Goodapali made 4. So you're doing well there, Patrick. You've jumped on and you've accepted the role with relish.
Not any success at this particular point in time, so leave it with me, Walshy. I know I haven't got a lot of time, but I'll do my best for you.
Short outside the off stump and smacked out towards forward point, and they go through for the single. So the first over, the accumulation of runs has been evident. 9 runs coming from the first over, and we still have, let's have a look, we've only had 4 balls bowled, 4 legitimate balls bowled. Let's see. Roy is the man who's doing the bowling, and he's in now from the goal end. I just took a wild guess and said that, so I'm not sure whether it is the right end or not, but we know we're at goal. That's a start, and they get through for 1. Roy with his first over, and the 2 batting for Australia, Nish on 8 and Baranka on 1, and they're none for 10, chasing 23, so just 13 runs required, and then it's lunch, and then it's home you go. Next ball is pushed away on the offside, and they're running for a single again, so this is good speeding running, and I think disappointing for the Canadians because their fieldsmen on the back foot, not moving in when the ball's coming in from the bowler, and none for 11 is the score after 1 over.
So there was some good banter during the break amongst our production crew up here as just trying to get a feel for how many overs in this second session that we'd see. There was a few numbers thrown around. I won't disclose those, but I feel like there's not going to be too many blokes in the hunt here, the way things are shaping up here.
Name them.
I can't do that.
Name and shame.
No.
Did you have a ping? I didn't. They don't take a Medibank card.
No. Well, I thought maybe 4 overs, but at none for 11 after 1, chasing 23, I'm not feeling that confident.
Yeah, well, give me your $20 and I'll put that in my pocket as we see the start of the second over. And what I'm saying is it's an easy single, but it shouldn't be because fieldsmen are stationary.
Well, they're deep on the ring, aren't they? They should be pushing up.
They should be
being aggressive.
But the score is only in the asking. It's 23 runs, and now they've only got another 11 to go. And that's the end of the game. Can you believe that?
Yeah. Still trying to get that research sorted out for you. There's a little bit of data there. I'm not exactly sure if it's 100% correct, but we'll have a look at it shortly.
No, you'll have a look at it shortly.
Okay. As Barenka allows that one to pass through to the keeper. Now, what we've got here, it's saying in a T20 international, the West Indies scored 29 runs from 20 extras.
Really? When was that?
Well, it doesn't give me a date. And then there's another one where India scored a total of 50 and there was 29 extras in the tally.
Good grief. Like a minefield it must have been, a wicket, you'd reckon?
Baranka's powerfully depositing the ball out into the cover region. Nicely fielded there by Goodapali, but he's good enough to get through for the single, Barranca. So none for 13, midway through the second. Target is 23.
Of course, then the man of the match from both teams, they'll be awarded with the ceremony down below with a cap. You wonder who'll win it from the Canadian team.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see. You feel like James Morris and Mark Wade are probably pushing their claims, or maybe even Andrew Kratzman for his 3 catches in the cordon.
Yes. Well, that's done too, and it's all part of what is important, that is both teams coming out and being recognised for their exploits in the game that we see unfolding. Another single just pushed so gently out into the covers, and they virtually, without any pressure whatsoever, get through for the single. It means it's none for 14 with 1 ball remaining in the second over, and some people that are near us are getting a bit edgy as to how many runs are needed before the target of 23 is reached. 1 ball to go in this over. It's the second over.
Nisha's got away to a great start, 11 from 7, Barranca 2 from 4. Barranca is forcing into the offside for another single. So 2 overs down, Australia none for 15, chasing the target of 23 in their semi-final, the Global Spirit of Cricket Festivale.
It's all good. Well, 2 down. Target at the moment, they're creeping up to 23, 7.5 already as the run rate, but let's not get into too much because we don't need to say too much. All I can do is tell you that Wade took 4 for 10, Morris 3 for none, Bloomfield 1 for 10, Sharma 1 for 1, and Milbank no wicket for 1. Goodapali made 4, and Patil made 5, and extras made 10. That was the best.
Just quickly around the grounds, Walshy, the other semi-final in the over-50s, being played at Sarah Oval, number 3 in Mildura. Australia A are 3 for 171 after 27, so looking to be going all right, the A-boys. In the over-55s, Australia are 2 for 198 after 29. Spirit of Cricket World 11 won the toss, elected to field. Maybe not quite the right option there for them. And at Kenny Park in Merbeen, New Zealand, 4 for 158, midway through the 31st over. And that game against Australia A.
Well, there's some good scores coming through, up around the 200 mark, which is what we want. We want to see a good chase later on, but this is not going to happen in this game. It's none for 15. And there's no run to the first ball of this next over. It's just pushed away down the ground. No power on the stroke. And the man who won the man of the match yesterday is bowling. And he's gets the chance. Yeah, it's good to see. Number 40, number 64. Like Tats Lotto numbers when we're spitting them out here. No luck again with Tats Lotto last night. No. None for 15. And that ball worked away down the onside behind square. It's going to run out towards the ropes, and it's into the ropes for 4. So the score now is none for 19. And I haven't seen any mild excitement from anyone who might have been...
Oh, I can see a smile on the dial of one of our boys there.
So let's say that the score is reached in this over. This is the 3rd over.
Is it nearest the pin, or do you have to get it exactly right? I'm not sure what they're playing at here.
Yeah, I think they're playing with games, and they're going to work out. It could be the dynamic duo. They might share the spoils because we might have to call in the 3rd umpire to check that. None for 19, and that could be it now.
Hit away down the onside. I think Barranca was looking for the maximum, but didn't really get the connection he was looking for. They'll get through for a couple. Ball is pinged back in from the deep, so none for 21. 2.5 overs gone. Niche 11, Barranca is 9. So 6 from this over so far from Pandya. 2 more needed for victory, Peter Walsh.
I can't believe what we're saying, but it's true.
Local time 12:06, so we've been underway for just a tick over 2 hours.
I might walk down to Oyen for some exercise during the lunch break and get ready for tomorrow's encounters.
I think a stop off just across the road to Ellersdon for some hot chips is going to be the order for me.
It looks like a big chance. Let's just see what can happen. This ball outside the off stump, and it's cut away, and that's it. Out it goes towards the boundary. They run 1, they come back to complete 2. And they're going to go 3, and that last run is all that's necessary for the Australia A team to record a 10-wicket victory and do it in style. The handshakes are plentiful, but what a performance by the Australians who, with bat, but preceded by with ball. Nish made 11 not out, Barranca was 10 not out, and chasing the total of Canada, which was just 22, the Australians none for 24 with Nish on 11 and Barranca on 10. Some smiles there. Look, it's all about the sportsmanship that exists in the spirit of cricket, but I'm sure that Canada would be very disappointed about being able to, after winning the toss and batting, making just 22, Patrick.
Yep, absolutely. Just quickly through that card in the second session, as you mentioned, Walshy, Nish finished 11 not out, 7 deliveries, Barranca 7 from 7. Beg your pardon, 10 from 9, just updated on our overlay there. So none for 24. Bowling figures, Pandya was none for 7 at the end, almost at the end of his first over. Near 1 over, no maiden, none for 4, and Rohit Roy, who opened up from the Sturt Highway end, 1 over, no maiden, none for 10. So we know one team who will be in the final that will be played out on Tuesday, Peter Walsh, at the Mildura Sporting Precinct. That will be Australia. Now the question will be, will their opposition be Australia A or will it be the US A? We'll keep a close eye on those scores, of course, across the course of the afternoon.
Now, we've got 4 hours to do our post-match report, so we might go through everything that's happened, including a full replay of what we saw with the score of only 22 being reached after 24 overs. There's a long gap, and what will happen now is the players from the Australian team who didn't get the chance to bat are coming out and shaking hands. And there will be, a lot of man-hugging going on out there. The spirit has been outstanding, but the performance by Canada, very disappointing today. They could only knock up 22 off 24 overs. And there will be, in the next 5 or 10 minutes, an announcement of the men of the match. The Australian one's a tough one because Wade took 4 for 10 and Morris 3 for nothing. I don't know. And when you're looking at who did well for Canada, no one did well with the bat. I don't know how they're going to do that. You can be the judge.
Don't put me on the cliffhanger, Walsh. That's your gig. I'll leave that to you. But, we can see some great spirit showed by both countries here as they'll get through their post-match festivities here. We might have a bite to eat as well and get a chance to reset and recharge the batteries ready for the big final on Tuesday.
That's it, Patrick. Yep, we'll talk when we have something more to say, which will be very shortly anyway, but they'll have the announcement of the player of the match, and I don't know whether it's worthwhile trying to grab someone and bring them up here. I'm not sure. I think we're going to sort something out from here. No, we can call it quits from here because the game's over. If you've just joined us, well, I'm sorry, but it's over. Canada made 22 and Australia none for 24 and winning the game and heading into the final on Tuesday with red-hot favourites. That's it from us, Peter Walsh and Pat Silcock, signing off from the Golgol Oval with Australia winning convincingly as we continue a wonderful week of the Global Spirit of Cricket Festivale.